What a night, huh? That was fun.
I was going to say, Dana, these things just keep getting better and better. I mean, does this feel like, I mean, I know it's hard to remember them all at one time, but does this feel like one of the best nights ever in the history of the series?
Yeah, tonight was, listen, season 1 and season 2 were pretty ridiculous too. I mean, this is it's a great show. It's a great format. We bring in, the best available fighters out there, and this is what you get when you do that. And you have these guys that are willing, 2 4-0 guys to put their records on the line instead of building up and, continuing to get fights, and you come into the UFC 10-0 or something like that. I love this concept. I love this show. I tell you guys all the time, I could do this every day. I love it. Tonight was a good night.
Not something we ask a lot here, but health update. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, he's good. That one. Listen, I haven't been freaked out like that in a while. He's okay. He literally, I don't even think they transported him yet. He's still here. He's okay. They're saying he's good, but I'm sure that they're transporting him. They just haven't yet.
Talk about Tafon in getting that deal in the main event. I mean, obviously, like you said, scary guy, but so new in the sport, right? So, I mean, when he comes in, do you tell the matchmakers, hey, we kind of got to give this guy
listen, I went back there and asked him. I said, what do you two think? The guy's 25 years old. He's 4-0 now. He's obviously super green. And they're like, this dude's ready. I said, really? You think so? They're like, yeah, he's ready.
So you can't really protect somebody. I mean, once you're in the UFC, you're in the UFC,
well, it's
right?
not about protecting. It's like, do you take that guy and get him some small? It looks like the guy's badass. He's got the power. He's got the cardio with the power. He's got he's very controlled, very smooth, not running after things. And he fought a guy tonight with 10 fights. The other kid's got 10 fights. I mean, he'll fight other kids here that have 10 fights or less. So we'll see how it goes. He's a scary dude.
He is scary. I wanted to ask you about Phil Hawes, a guy that's been so close before, the Ultimate Fighter, Dana White's Contender Series. He comes back and gets it. What's your mindset when you watch a guy like that? Like, you're familiar, right? And he's been here and he hasn't gotten it done. What's your thoughts, when you're watching a guy that, like you said, kind of a new man?
Well, like Blackledge, okay? Blackledge tonight looked incredible. The first 2 rounds, fought a tough, durable guy, and don't be surprised if you don't see Church as a last-minute replacement in a UFC fight too. But a kid like Blackledge, who looked good tonight, he got the first one under his belt. I'm sure that, you have to imagine the adrenaline dump and the ton of nerves that these guys have when they come in for an opportunity like this. He goes out. We'll bring him back in November. He'll get another fight. He's already done this. He's already been here, and now he knows, if he'd have put the pedal to the metal in that 3rd round the way he did 1 and 2, I couldn't have said no to him. There's no way. Make me not say no. Make me not say no. So,
you keep throwing out these November dates. They're going to bring it back in November. Can you give us the exact schedule of what's happening here?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know yet. There's so many things going on. So we got, I guess.
Can we make Fight Island official finally?
We're going to Fight Island. Yeah. We're going to Fight Island. They all have these big plans on how we're going to announce all this stuff. The Ultimate Fighter's coming back too. I start filming that when I get back from Fight Island. We got the Contender Series, lots of things going on.
And just to confirm, I mean, obviously I think we all know, but 253 starts Fight Island. There's 3 fight nights in between, and then 254 with Habib and Gaethje, that would end it.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming Contender Series goes on hold during that, or would you do shows over there?
No, we go on hiatus until I get back.
Okay, so next week will be the last one.
I'll be there the whole 5 weeks, yeah.
Okay. Last thing I want to ask you, Dana, obviously I wasn't here last week. It was a kind of a crazy week, right, with all the COVID tests and everything. Mm-hmm. Clearly I've seen this thing from the start. You guys have got a lot of controls in place. But do you start getting a little nervous when you have that many positives and you're getting these day of removals? Does that raise red flags or concern you at all?
Nah. Look at the history here. Look at what we've done. Look at how it's all worked out. One of the things that we're not doing that the other sports are doing is there's people that keep testing positive, right? Positive, but they're not. They have no symptoms and they're not contagious. They're letting those guys play. If it's in the NBA or Major League Baseball, we're not. So, that's the difference. And I think we just had a situation last week where they tested negative, then tested positive. So it's just this thing's fucking wacky, and you know, do the best you can, and you know, we're doing everything the right way. It just, who knows with this thing, man? Nobody's got this whole thing figured out yet, but you know, we've been solid. Think about me. I'm in there. I shake their hands. I do all this other stuff, and I haven't had COVID.
Hey, Dana.
Anybody asked you not to do that? Has anybody said, Dana, could you not shake hands with everybody?
I will shake people's hands till the day I die.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
At this point, you've basically become sort of a scientific example of what COVID can do. You guys have tested so many people. You have so many results. Are you ever considering letting those findings be public about how many people test fake positive, how many people get it again? Do you ever think about sharing those findings?
Yeah, I think, listen, if anybody ever reached out to us and wanted that information, we would absolutely give it to them. I think we're going back to Abu Dhabi. We'll have 5 straight weeks there. And by the time we wrap up the end of this year, by January, we should have a really good, you know, database on how this whole thing played out, and could probably put together something cool that we could give to other people or write a story about or something like that.
Going back to tonight, over the past few weeks, occasionally you'll pick a fighter that you've given a contract to as, I'm expecting big things from this guy. You didn't do that tonight, but if there was one person who stood out to you tonight, who would it have been?
Yeah, obviously the main event. I mean, this guy reminds me of like a, you know, he's like a Tyson type figure. You know what I mean? Physically, visually, and obviously with his fighting style. I mean, he's 4-0 now with 4 knockouts. I didn't see the first 3, but the last one was one of the most vicious knockouts I've ever seen.
Just a couple of other things. Earlier today, Kevin Ioli said that you've confirmed Khamzat Chimaev will be fighting Gerald Meschert here in Vegas, and then again Damian Maia here in Vegas.
Right.
How come he's not fighting in Fight Island?
I don't know how that played out, but that's how we're doing it. I don't know. I
I
told these guys, get him 2 fights. Get him one here in Vegas and one in Fight Island, and he's fighting both here. I don't know why they ended up doing that, but whatever. It's all good.
Is there a risk that by booking him 2 fights at once, you know, if he loses the first fight, does Gerald feel disrespected? Is this an opportunity for him to prove you guys wrong? What's the thinking in booking a guy 2 fights at once?
Yeah, the thing is, the guy wants to keep fighting. He wants all these fights back to back. It's no disrespect to his opponent. He's either going to win or lose. That has nothing to do with us. That's up to them. But to do that, for him to really fight 2 fights in a row, you have to book him.
And last thing from me.
And for a guy like him, I would never do that for somebody else. I'd be like, relax. Let's see if you get through this fight. But what I've seen from him, I'm willing to do that with him.
Could there be some sort of abnormal gimmick where you have him booked middleweight and then again 2 weeks later at welterweight and just keep doing that and see how far he goes up both divisions at the same time?
It's fascinating. You know, never really had anybody that's doing anything like he is right now. So I could see why you would say, don't you think this is disrespectful, booking a fight for him when he's got a fight? But that's how you have to do it. It's interesting. I like it, and I've never had a guy like this, so it's fun. I'll play this game with him. You know, I after what I saw in his first 2 fights, fought real guys, man. He didn't fight chumps. This isn't a guy that's blew through a couple of setup fights. He beat real people, man, and I'm going to see how it plays out.
And last thing for me, earlier this week, report from Erohani at ESPN that Nick Diaz is back in shape, did a 14-week sort of camp and is looking to return. His manager says he definitely wants to fight again. Have you heard or spoken to Nick Diaz or anyone in his team?
Listen, the Nick Diaz thing, first of all, we would have never released that or done that. You know, we'll see how this thing plays out. I don't have any expectations whatsoever. We'll see what happens.
For now, he's saying that, and you're just having to see how he commits to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Cheers, then. Thank you.
Dana, so there's been no direct discussions between you and Nick Diaz's party?
Yeah, there's been talking, but there's been talking for years.
Going back, you had Fight Island in July, very successful, a lot of fights without any hiccups, and now you're going back. What's been the feedback from the powers that be at Abu Dhabi on how that went?
Awesome. I mean, they loved it. It was super successful in every possible way that an event could be successful. So yeah, we're going back.
Are you seeing any easing up on restrictions on bringing fighters here from other countries?
No, not really.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's still tough to, the other thing too is when you come here, wherever you go after that, you have to quarantine for like 2 weeks or something.
So still, for now, Fight Island's still the best option.
100%. Yeah, I think that. Did you see what Fauci came out and said today? We're headed for a catastrophe in the fall.
Does that surprise you?
No. So, like I said, I'm not expecting this all to turn around anytime soon. They were saying that this stuff is supposed to go away in the summer, and then they were saying the numbers were going up in the summer. Now we're going into fall and winter, and we're headed for a catastrophe. So, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Recently, you came out and put, for the wrestler in Iran, Navi Afkari. Do you have a relationship with him, or what inspired you to put your neck out there for him?
There is obviously a story behind this. I don't want to tell it publicly, but at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do. The guy is a wrestler. He's a human being, and the president was very. When I called him, he said, "Let me see what we can do. Let me look into it." We don't have any recourse with these guys, and there's already sanctions on Iran. I don't know how much influence I can have, but I'll give it a shot. And other than him, who else could influence that? Nobody.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dana, actually, I got a couple more. You said you get back from Abu Dhabi and you go straight to filming The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, and The Contender.
Does that mean we have some coaches already in mind or already booked?
Yeah, no, not yet. No, so the first tough meeting is this week. Yeah, we have a meeting this week. Start putting all that stuff together.
Is there going to be a format change, or is it still going to be the same sort of?
Same, yeah.
Same
Same.
And then lastly, tonight, Draco Rodriguez specifically mentioned watching the UFC on Spike TV to get into it.
Yeah.
At this point, you've had a lot of experiences in your career running this thing. You said on the broadcast that you knew it was going to happen one day, but how cool is it to actually see, like, I predicted this would happen years ago, and now it's happening right in front of me. How cool is it to see that?
As soon as the kid did his piece ran, I called Lorenzo. And I said, I'm here at the Contender tonight. And this kid literally just said his uncle used to watch, Spike TV, so he started watching it. It's literally how we played that thing out and what we said would happen. So it was awesome. So I wanted to call and share that with him.
I know at the moment in this sport, especially this year, there's no stopping. You don't have any time to stop and think. But does a moment like that, just for a minute, make you sit back and go, knew it, called it, love it?
Yeah. There's a lot of those these days. Even though we're in this fucked up world that we're in right now, whatever's going on here, over here there's a lot of good stuff going on. So, almost weekly I have those type of things.
Thank you.
Yep.
Amanda Ribas and Carlos Esparza, are they going to fight in December 12th here in Vegas?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, I just read this new. And
That's what you're hearing?
yeah, I just read here
Okay.
online.
Did we announce it?
No,
I don't know.
just double check if you have any information about Amanda.
I know. I got all kinds of information on other shit except that. I don't know.
Charles Oliveira, Charles do Bronx, he's not going to fight in October.
Who's not going to fight in October?
Charles Oliveira, do Bronx.
I don't know that either. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Cool.
Just one here, Dana. It seems like all of the belts are going to be, most of the belts are going to be defended on the next few months. Is there any time frame where you want to see Volkanovski or Peter Jan defending, or Weili Zhang, who's hadn't defended since March?
Yeah, we're working on all that stuff right now. We had a guy go down today, so we didn't. Usually every Tuesday we do matchmaking, but we couldn't do it today. One of our guys was sick, so we didn't get anything done today. It's on the matchmaking side.
So one of those could make it to this year, or
Is that what?
one of those belts could be defended still this year, or?
Yeah, good.
And just having Khabib on the 254 card, is there a chance that event could be on a European-friendly time, like what happened last year in September when he fought Dustin Poirier?
Would it be what? Unfriendly?
On a European time friendly. I mean.
Oh,
like,
yes. Time friendly. Yeah. Yes, it will.
So that's going to happen in the afternoon here
Yeah,
in America.
it'll happen in the afternoon here.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, guys.